Hey everyone, happy hump day. I'm actually, this might be a little bit difficult because I'm not in my office and also my connection can be a little bit weak. So I apologize if there's going to be a delay here. I'm not using my micro. It's literally this setup at my parents' house in Palm Springs. So, but I didn't want to miss our therapy session. It's super important to me and I think for you guys as well. So I hope that you can hear me okay. I hope that the connection isn't too bad, but let's see what we can do here. And I'm probably going to be on for about 30 minutes or so just because the connection is so bad, but I didn't want to miss connecting with you today. So as you know, I very much value these times with you. And as we build this channel and things are going so good for us here, it means a lot to me that you join me every Wednesday here at noon. So with that, I'm in Palm Springs, which is actually really amazing. And I got to take a little time off. So great. Thank you for the feedback. I'm glad the connection as well. So let me just do some shout outs here and then we'll move on because I have some really important things to discuss with you. So I see Houston's in the house, Florida's in the house, Bingham, oh, right on. New York is in the house. Netherlands is in the house. Right on. Where are you guys from? Rhode Island is in the house. And so, we're really going to get into this discussion about what is going on in the sports world, and it's disgusting. And is that Arizona's in the house? Lockport, New York is in the house. Right on, everybody. Thank you so much. And Louisiana's in the house. Ahmadville, I don't even know where that is, and I used to live in Louisiana. Bay Area's in the house. Glasgow's in the house. Right on. New York's in the house, and Sweden is in the house, and Arizona, and Devon, UK is in the house, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which I heard is beautiful, and I'd love to go. Detroit is in the house. Thank you guys so much. It really means a lot to me. Spain is in the house. Darlington, UK is in the house. We got the Philippines in the house today, and Portugal's in the house. Wow, you guys are killing me here. England is in the house, and Florida's here, and Oregon, and Canada, and the Ukraine is in the house. I was telling my parents I got a worldwide audience, so they're going to see that we are all here. Missouri, Dayton, Ohio's in the house, San Antonio, and Arkansas, and Michigan is in the house, and Spain, and Long Beach Island, New Jersey's in the house. So with that, thank you. As long as you guys can keep posting that, and I'll try to shout you out as we move forward here. And I want to really bring Tennessee's in the house and Kentucky's in the house. My mom's from West Virginia and Kentucky, so she'll like that very much. Cincinnati, Ohio's in the house. And the panic button is in the house. Hey, panic button. I love you, ladies. So if you guys aren't following the panic button, please do, because they're very important to me and they're important to you. And that's how we move forward in this world. And Brockway, Pennsylvania's in the house, and Colorado's in the house, and New Zealand's in the house, and Seattle's in the house, and North Carolina's in the house, and Vegas is in the house. It's hot. I bet it's very hot in Vegas right now. So Connecticut's in the house. Right on. So thank you so much. I know I feel the respect from all over the world, and that's why the Iowa's in the house, and that's why these lives are very important to me. Georgia's in the house, because we can actually show the world that we are actually bringing ourselves together here, and that not everybody believes in the insanity that's going on. And with that, and Austin is in the house, and you know what? And Russia's in the house. Thanks for Russia for being here. You see, you guys, it's not me, it's us. We are bringing such an amazing group of people together, and we are dispelling. And Dina's in the house, and hey, Dina. Dina's my ex-girlfriend from like 80 years ago. So it's great to see you, my friend. And so I just want you all to know that these really do mean a lot to me. I know I tell you that every week. And Courtney, my very great friend, is in the house. Thanks, Courtney. I got a great platform with Libertarian Larry Sharp on his show last night. Oh, yeah, send it to me and I'll post about it. I appreciate you, friend. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave the super chats to the end, if you don't mind, so we can move on to this very, very, very important conversation. Because here's what's happening. Now, I don't know, you probably all know what's happening in the Olympics. I hope you're watching and supporting the Olympics. It means a lot to me. I'm very much into female sports, as I was in the sports world as a female. And hey, Arkansas, nice to see you. And Utah's here. This is great. So, it does mean a lot to me. Female sports means a lot to me. And I think that is a very important space for not only young girls, but also women who train their asses off to get into the Olympics and to win. We're killing it. The Americans are killing it at the Olympics. I hope you guys are watching it. It's just incredible to watch. Now, the one thing that's happening in the Olympics that I think we possibly all might know or not, but I'll give you a little background here really quick, is women's boxing. Okay. And in women's boxing, there are two boxers, one from China and one from, is it Algeria? Is that where she's from? Yeah, Algeria. And they are both, and I'm going to call them she for all intents and purposes here to show you what we're going to talk about. These two athletes who identify and have been assigned female at birth, because both of these females have been born with what we call DSD, which used to be called intersex. Okay. So this is where that whole term assigned gender at birth comes. When somebody has ambiguous genitalia or some way that the doctor doesn't just see a vagina or a penis, then they sort of have to understand and make their own choice of how to do that. And a lot of times these people are assigned female at birth. So these two people were assigned female at birth, but their chromosomes, okay, are XY. And if you don't understand what that means, XY is what a male person has, and XX is what a female person has. I have XX because I am a biological female who made myself look like a man. These two were assigned female at birth, even though their chromosomes show XY. Now, if this isn't necessarily their fault, right? So we really need to understand this is a very difficult conversation because I don't want to blame them, okay? But as we get into this, I'm going to show you why I believe this conversation is important. So now these two people were raised as women and raised as females, and that's what they've always thought that they were, yet they have the chromosomes of males. I don't know, somewhere along the line as you're growing up, I don't know much about DSD and why I'm interviewing some more people to bring this on, okay? So what I want to say is, as they're growing up in this space as females, but what's happening is that their chromosomes are not female. They are male, which does give them an advantage. I don't care how much you argue with me about it. I've done a lot of research on this. I've looked into it. I have actually interviewed people with DSD, and you do have an advantage over an XX, okay? And this is why chromosomes matter. So back in the day in the Olympics, okay, they used to actually, I'm sorry, let me shut my phone here off. Sorry about that. So in the Olympics, they used to actually test chromosomes. Okay, there's a test you can do that can actually test your chromosomal makeup. And they did a thing called a cheek swab, which made sure that everyone who competed in women's sports was an XX, okay? Somewhere along the line, and I don't know if it was the trans activists or the somebody decided that the chromosomes didn't matter. And what mattered was what your passport said, what your identification said, or whatever. This is insane, because what happens is I identify as a male, okay? But you all know I am not a biological male. I am a biological female, okay? It is not true that I am a man, okay? Even though my passport says it, even my birth certificate says it. I actually had my birth certificate changed 20 years ago during my transition. That's a whole other story we can talk about. But that being said, but if they would test me and do the chromosomal test with the cheek swab, they would see XX, and they would say, oh, well, actually, Buck, you're chromosomally female, so you can't go in this particular space, okay? Now, that being said, no dudes are going to care if I go boxing with them or do any, because they're going to kick my ass anyway. I don't care how many steroids I take, and I don't care how much. I'm still biologically female, which means my bones and my makeup are all going to be female. That never changes. It hasn't changed with 32 years of testosterone. My chromosomes have not changed. And I'm being very honest about this, and I have been honest about it, and I will continue to be honest about it, because my story matters in this particular thing, and why I can poke a hole in all of this. So what happens is, now these two fighters, the one from China and the one from Algiers, and mostly we're going to talk about, I think this person's name is Imam, is it Khalif? Imam Khalif. Okay, so mostly we're going to talk about Imam Khalif, okay? And so Imam Khalif is beating the crap out of the other female boxers, because Iman, and I'm going to call Iman she because she has been raised as she, but she is actually a biological male. It is very, okay, it's Taiwan. Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend. It's Taiwan. I appreciate that. If I make mistakes, just let me know, and also Seth will be here soon and he'll help me. So with that, I apologize for that. It's not cool that I made that mistake. So, oh, is a Chinese boxer too? Anyway, let me just stay on Iman because it's going to be easier for me to tell this story. Okay. So, what happens is Iman is raised as a female. Okay. But Iman was tested from the International Boxing Association last year and I think the year before and failed the gender test. Okay. Failed the gender test. Now, the one from Chinese decided not to dispute it, but Iman did decide to dispute it, but then all of a sudden dropped that. So right there, the International Boxing Association said these are biological males. I don't care how you identify, they are biological males. And to keep the integrity of the sport, they said they cannot box. So they were literally not allowed to box from the International Boxing Association, okay? Then comes the Olympics. Now, the International Boxing Association told the Olympics, hey, wait a minute. These two boxers are genetically, chromosomally male. They should not legally be put in the space with female boxers. XX and XY are two different things. We need to keep this clear, you guys. I don't care. It doesn't matter what you think. This is an actual fact. There are female boxers and there are male boxers. And if you are somewhere in between, which is a very low percentage of the world, we're talking about a very low percentage. We're not talking about a lot of people here. And you have to understand, just because you, whatever, were born intersex or born a certain way or choose to transition like I did, you don't get everything you want. That's not the way the world works. When I transitioned, I gave up my rights to enter female space. That is an actual fact. And I know that because I'm logical about that situation. And so when you transition, it's why children can't transition, or why somebody who hasn't gone under extensive psychological training cannot transition, because they don't understand that you're going to lose some things in your life. And are you prepared to lose that? So that is also an important conversation that we can set aside here. So going back to the International Boxing Association, they said these two are genetically male, chromosomally male. They cannot box with women. To keep the integrity of female boxing, XY cannot box with XX. Some reason, I don't know why, but the International Olympic Committee decided to push genetics and chromosome out and now use identity. It is shocking to me that they would do that. So any man, any biological man in this room, okay, who knows about their own biology, imagine that. You could just identify as a woman right now and you can go box with women. That's exactly what the international, if your passport says female and your identification, not your birth certificate, they're not looking even at birth certificate, looking at your passport and your identification. It says male. Anyone can identify. My dad, my man friends could literally say I'm a woman and I'm going to go boxing. And remember what I keep telling all of you, this is always based on female. No one ever talks about male sports. Why? Because I'm not a threat to men. Women are not a threat to men. Men are a threat to women. I don't care what you say. They're a threat. I grew up that I know, I understand it. Women have an innate fear. This is a biological thing that happens because all the things in the world that has always happened around women and the attacks men have on women have a different way of walking the world. It is not fair that now we're expecting all of us to just turn our heads. That's why I named this gaslighting. It is 100% gaslighting us to say they are women. They are not women. They are DSD males, okay? Chromosomal males who identify this. The words matter, you guys. The words matter. They identify as females, okay? I identify as male. I am not, and nor are they. And it's why they have to go back. So here's what I also want to say to you. If Iman was so solid, and I'm going to call her he, I'm sorry, she, I just am for the purpose of this. She was so solid in her understanding of her chromosomes. Why is she not taking a cheek swab? Why is she not taking a cheek swab? You know, if she took a cheek swab, guess what would happen? Yeah, it's a he, and I appreciate that, but I'm saying that in the context of this story. She was She was raised as a she. It's not her fault, okay? But she is not female. She is male. It's confusing, I know. So if that confuses you, I could go back to calling her he. Would that make everybody more comfortable if I called Iman he? Thumbs up if you prefer for me to call her he. Thumbs down if you think it's disrespectful. I'm totally cool. I don't even care how she. Do you know how many women, biological women, I know that look like dudes? So we can't go off of Iman's looks. I don't think that that's fair. Okay, I don't think that's fair. However, they look. I don't care because I know a lot of women that look like very masculine. Okay, that's just not fair. But what we can say is we know that Iman. Okay, I'm going to use he. So we know that Iman. Okay, his chromosomes are XY, and you can't deny XY equals male. That's like, what are we talking about? So it's gaslighting us when people tell us that Iman is a female, because Iman is not a female. Iman is a chromosomal male. If Iman wants to live as a woman, more power to Iman. But Iman has to step up, and there's integrity involved in this. There's no integrity involved in this at all. Zero. Because Iman will not take the cheek swab. If Iman took that swab and it got tested, we all know. So with that, watch this. Watch what I'm going to bring up here. I found some great articles that I'm going to read with you, and we're going to go over this together. So hold on. Let me share my screen here. Okay. Oh, there's some great stuff that I found. This is crazy. Okay, watch. I like this one. This one's really good. Okay, this is my friend Sal. I don't know if you guys all know Sal Grover. She's the woman who started that I think it's called, what's it called again? Oh gosh, I can't remember, but she's amazing. She started an app for women, right? She started the app for women, and then like all these trans women wanted to go into the app, and it was like insane. It became a huge lawsuit in Australia, and she's awesome. And she's been fighting for women's rights for a long time because she said, no, this app is for women, not trans women. Trans women are not women, and we don't want you on. And then they tried suing her, and she's suing back. Yeah, Giggle. Thank you. I love her. She's actually a good friend of mine. So, hey, Quebec, thanks for joining us. So watch, I'm going to show you something really interesting here. And I think this is a very important video. Okay, here we go.
Boxer Imami Khalif, who, remember, the IOC claim was not that dominant or successful. So why should anyone be worried? Well, the athletes now made it all the way through to the gold medal bout at the Olympics. Khalif goes into Saturday's bout as favourite. And it was only just the other day that the International Boxing Association went to Paris and held a press conference to confirm that Imami Khalif, as well as Taiwan's Lin Yuting, have male
there you
biology.
Go. Did you just...
With blood tests showing the male XY chromosomes in the two athletes, with the boss of the IBA, Umar Kremlov, calling out the Olympic Committee.
Listen.
And today, unfortunately, we are witnessing the failure, the death of women, female boxing.
That is not okay, you guys. Did you hear? I know you did. You heard it. It just upsets me beyond belief. It upsets me beyond. They're literally saying these are men competing in women's sports. And why is nobody listening? And I think I saw a couple of you over here. Yeah, it's misogyny. It's as if nobody cares about women's sports. If this was happening in men's sports, you know damn well this would never be happening. If women were overriding male space and overriding men's sports, men would never put up with this. Not in a million fucking years, ever. This is misogyny at its finest. And shame on the Olympic Committee, okay? Shame on them for overriding women who are saying no. These are just two people, you guys. We're not talking about a group of hundreds of people who are born with these chromosomes, who are professional boxers. And we're also going to put women's safety at risk. That one, she got punched in the face so hard, she was like, nope, I'm not doing this. It's as if nobody cares about women's sports, not only women's sports, women's space. I'm sorry you were born with DSD, you know, whatever that means. I'm sorry that they made you a female instead of a male. I'm sorry about all those things. But guess what? Life isn't fair, okay? What's fair is for Iman to take a cheek swab. That's it. If he took a cheek swab, it would clear up the whole thing, you would see XY. People are arguing this in a way that just shocks me. They're arguing it in a way that doesn't make any sense to me. So let's finish watching this because there's some good stuff here. Watch.
For more of this, let's bring in CEO for the women's app Giggle and a long-time defender of women's rights, Sal Grover.
Style.
Well, Sal, thank you for your time. I want to pick up something that journalists from The Australian, two of them, Peter Bedell and Jacqueline Magday, have looked at very carefully. They've gone through documents presented by the International Boxing Association that the IBA claims show just how fair the advantage Khalif has is. They are that on average, a male's handshake is 57% stronger than that of a woman.
What?
That athletes with the male XY chromosomes
What?
have 65% more leg power, 90% extra upper body strength than those of us with the female XX chromosomes. And importantly, that women have only about 40% of the hitting power of a man in the boxing ring. And when you see stats like this, Sal, it shows just how dangerous all of this is, surely.
100%. I mean, we know that men are stronger than women. It's why male violence exists. It's not like women could fight back, but choose not to.
You guys, it's totally shocking to me that we're even having this conversation. How are we having this conversation? I can't even listen to that part because it makes me so sad. Sal's been fighting for women's rights since her Giggle app and men wanting to go on there pretending they're lesbians, right? It opens a really dangerous precedent. And this particular situation opens another dangerous precedent, okay? If we let them continue to box, then anybody who identifies as a woman will now be allowed to go into all these women's spaces. And that's why I'm adamant to say I'm not going to be a part of that because I don't believe it's fair. Isn't sports supposed to be fair? Isn't that why we have women's division and men's division? That's literally why we have those two divisions. And now what you're doing is you're totally clouding it by saying anyone who identifies as something that just makes zero sense at all. And anyone who understands biology, which should be all of us, that's why I keep telling you why I named it gaslighting. What is a woman? They're gaslighting us. They're making us all try to think, oh, maybe you're right. Maybe this person is female because at birth, the doctor said they were female. The doctor assigned them female because the doctor couldn't even actually make a clear-cut choice because this person has DSD, which is a disorder of sexual development. I don't know what that means for their genitals, and I don't think any of us know. But what we do know is they are X, Y, and they have a higher testosterone level than an actual biological female. I mean, really? What are they teaching kids in school? I would love to know, what are they teaching kids in school? Because if they're not teaching kids basic biology, we are in big trouble for the future. And just so you know, you cannot be a trans person without biology because a trans person is born female or male and wants to feel or look like a male or a female, the opposite of what they're born. And if you don't understand that you're born a female, then how do you even understand that you want to be a male? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, how would I ever even understand that? Oh, I actually feel better living my life as a male than I do living my life as a female. How would I understand that if I didn't know that I was actually born a female? Thank God my parents didn't gaslight me when I was a kid and say, oh, you're actually really a dude. Like, that's gaslighting. And also, you're right. I see that. Special privileges, Ruby. That's exactly right. And Ruby also is very openly DSD, and Ruby is very open to discussing it. So we do have somebody in here who has that particular disorder and is very open to discussing it, which is great. So, you know, I never want to speak over people because I don't have DSD, but what I do have is gender dysphoria, and it is very debilitating until you sort of create this space, but it never goes away. The disorder never goes away. You use medical to sort of hold it together enough to be able to be walking in the world as a person who is functional. I'm a functional human being now. I'm not getting fucked up on alcohol and drugs and cutting and doing all kinds of crazy shit because on some level, it's my medication, my testosterone, this. But remember, I'm going to keep instilling this in all of you. I did it as an adult after years of intensive therapy. I didn't just walk into Planned Parenthood and go, I'm trans. And then they're like, here you go, dude, here's some testosterone. And now 2 years later, I'm like, why did I do this? So this one is one of my favorite videos here. Let me play a little bit more for you.
Live in that reality every day, and in sport and in greater society, there has been safeguarding and categories created to make it fair and as safe as possible for women to have a fair shot. And what is happening right now in the Olympics and in many other parts of society where the absence of biological reality in sex-based rules and regulations is playing out.
Disgusting.
But we knew that this was the reality. We knew this would happen.
That's right. We knew it. We saw it coming. We saw it coming.
At this big press conference on the weekend in
Listen.
Paris, the medical chief of the International Boxing Association, who is in fact a gynecologist of 30 years training, he spoke out. He said, the IOC's passport definition of a woman is, and I quote, contestable because the science, he says, is not poor. Medicine is knowledge. It's not opinion.
Thank you.
I know who is a woman and who is a man.
Thank you.
The biological world does
Thank
not
you.
change. Now, why on
Thank you.
earth is the IOC dismissing?
Hold on. This is a very important
science. A woman and who is a man.
Science is not poor. Medicine is knowledge. It is not opinion. I know who is a woman and who is a man. The biological world does not change. You guys, this is from an actual gynecologist who is saying that. An actual doctor, gynecologist who looks at genitals and understands is saying, what are you talking about? This is not just a whimsical thing that anyone can. We need to determine sex through chromosomal space, not necessarily genitals, because you can, again, be born with both sets of genitals, maybe testicles up on the inside and maybe a vagina on the outside. So at face value, you might see a female, but when you test that person, they might actually have an XY. It's not clear cut. That's why I keep saying to everybody, you can't go by looks. I look this way. Nobody would ever think otherwise. And I said, just what I say all the time, you can put a wrapper on anything. You could take a Snickers bar and put a Mars bar wrapper on it and create a Mars bar out of a Snicker bar, but it's not really a Mars bar. It's a Snicker bar because you're actually going by the wrapper. And the wrapper is actually not the reality of the Snicker bar. What's the reality of the Snicker bar is when you eat it and it's an actual Snicker bar and you're fooling everybody. So on some level, that's why I always say, like, I'm not here to fool you, and why I make it very, very public and adamant to show you why biology matters. And in the case of this, right, right, you can't fool people's taste buds. You also can't fool people's eyes. And that is something that is why I keep saying this is gaslighting at its finest. This is the most gaslighting of gaslighting. And don't back down, okay? I'm gonna beg all of you, do not back down from people when they come at you and they tell you that you're wrong, she's a woman. No, she is not a woman, okay? She is not. She is not biologically female. He identifies as a woman, is not the same as being a woman. And so I want to bring up a couple other, oh, this is so fascinating. I think the people here in the room who understand all of this anti-Semitism these days, this is going to be very interesting to you. I want to show this to you. They're just pulling at straws, you guys. Look at this. You're not even going to believe this. This is so insulting. Algerian Olympic team blames Zionist conspiracy for boxer in gender row. Look at this. So then it goes on to say, the director of Algeria's Olympic Committee has claimed that a female boxer at the center of a row over eligibility to fight against women is the victim of Zionist conspiracy. Iman Khalif was accused of being a man and a bullying cheat after her Italian opponent withdrew, and see how they're using she, okay? Italian withdrew from their bout last week after just Angelina Carini claimed she had quit to save her life. Okay, so why is that such a bad thing? When the Algerian boxer hit her so hard she could not breathe. Khalif was previously disqualified from the 2023 Women's World Boxing Championship, which was organized by the Russian-led International Boxing Association after she failed unspecified gender eligibility tests. Okay, so anyways, it goes on and on and on. It says, speaking before the bout, which guaranteed that she would win at least bronze medal, Yazim Ari, the director of the Algerian Olympic and Sports Committee, told the Sydney Morning Herald, Khalif has been attacked by shadowy forces. The Zionist lobby, they want to break the mind of Iman, and now Iman is very strong. They don't want that Muslim girl or Arabic girl goes higher in the level of the ranks. Okay, you see what they're doing now? They're still gaslighting us. Now they're making it into a Zionist thing. What? What does that have to? It has nothing to do with Muslim or Zion. This is how they gaslight us and make it go over here, right? Now it's become some kind of conspiracy theory that Jews are hating on the Muslims, and no, stay on target. It's facts. Facts are that Iman is not a female. Iman is a male, okay? It's actually, they want to confuse us. And that's what gaslighting is. Gaslighting is confusing you and making you second guess yourself. Like, oh, yeah, these right behind me, these are shutters, right? These are shutters. I mean, not shutters, they're shutters. But you're going to tell me they're curtains. That's what gaslighting is. And then making me think, am I not seeing shutters? Am I seeing, those are really curtains? It's unbelievable. So now it's become a Zionist conspiracy theory. It's so insane, you guys. I'm finding the most insane stuff. So let me, one of my favorite, one of my favorite sites is Redux. I'm sure you all know that. I actually love Redux. I think they do a great job reporting and all of that. Let me find this here. I want to bring this up to you. I think this is the one right here. Let me show you this. International Olympic Committee was warned about male boxer, World Boxing Association. Yeah, so this is where you have to understand. They were warned. Okay, they were actually warned. It says, in a shocking statement made to Magir Nesmet yesterday, Kovacs confirmed the speculation surrounding the Algerian boxer, adding that it has been known as early as 2022 that Khalif was biologically male. Why are people arguing this? Why are people arguing that he's not biologically male? It's factual. So here's the thing: what they're trying to say. I guess the IOC. The International Boxing Association is not allowed to disclose the testing, but they tested all the boxers. Okay, they tested all the let's say there's 10 of the boxers in the International Boxing Association. They tested all of them genetically. Okay, 10 of them. 2 of them came back with XY chromosomes. Out of the 10 boxers, there was the Algerian boxer and the Taiwanese boxer. So there you go. I mean, you don't even have to name names. The IOC will not listen to them. The IOC has lost all of their credibility. I 100% resolved for myself on that. IOC has lost all credibility. The Olympics are a joke now because you're going to let dudes compete with women. They're just going to let them do it. I think we have to do something like boycott the Olympics or something bigger than this because it's not okay. It is just not okay. And so that's really what I wanted to share with you all today. I'm going to go read some of these super chats. Thank you guys all for the super chats. Cecilia, hi, my friend. Thank you for joining us today. To be fair, I've not seen a trusted evidence. Okay, I'll send it to you. To them, bring XY. I suspect, but still wanting proof, not just hearsay. Proofs. Well, they just proved it, and I can send you that actual link to it. The man from the International Boxing Association finally came out, and he actually said their names, and he said they tested for the Iman and the Taiwanese boxer both tested XY. He said their names. So it has been confirmed that they're XY. And I will send you that particular link if you'd like. Send me an email and I'll send it to you. I feel sorry for Khalif. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. We have to have some compassion for these people as well. They were told they were female their whole life since they were little teeny kids. So in their minds, they are female. And so that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily their fault. But what I need to say is that if Iman had some integrity, Iman would do the cheek swab because that would clear the whole thing up. But Iman refuses to do the cheek swab, right? So that says to me that Iman knows something's up, because why wouldn't Iman do the cheek swab, right? They did. The guy just said it in that last video. I'll put a link here. The guy said their names in the video that I showed you from Sal. He said that Iman and the Taiwanese, I apologize, I don't remember her name, they released the test. He said their names. So they have to. They have to now. Because if they don't, then you're right. It's just hearsay. I explained hey, Susie, thank you. I explained the basics on Threads and was told I didn't know what I was talking about. See, that's gaslighting. That's gaslighting right there. Don't give up. Don't give up. That's what they want. People want you to give up. Sports needs, hey, Mod, thank you so much. Sports needs more categories to accommodate trans DST people and even people who want to dope, but they won't because it's not about fairness. That's right. And that's what I said. Sorry, you got to create another division. That's just the reality of it. You got to create a trans division, a DST division, maybe make them the same, because they're not the same as 99% of the world. And that's also what we need to understand. Just because there's 2 people in the whole world that have something, we're going to disrupt the whole platform. That's just ridiculous. That nothing ever in the world was done like that. It's a politically correct thing to do. That's why they're doing it. Hey, Robin, thank you, friend. You're the strongest, most real transsexual. Thank you for standing up for women. We love you. Thank you. It's not even that. I think I consider myself somebody who has integrity, but I appreciate that so very, very much. And I think we're not teaching young people integrity. We're teaching young people how to lie, and we're teaching young people how to gaslight. And that's what we're going to give this younger generation as a skill to gaslight. How far do you think that's going to get them in the world? And I don't understand this idea where you can't be honest about yourself, right? Why would I not be honest about myself? It just, to me, it's much more powerful when you bring honesty to the table than when you lie about stuff. It just doesn't make sense to me. Oh wait, I missed, here we go. This one right here. Hey Jen, nice to see you, friend. Jen, Buck, sometimes in life you have to walk away from the things you love. That's right, perpetuate an issue. And that message goes directly to, that's right. And if Iman had integrity, Iman would do a cheek swab. I'm going to say it over and over and over again. No integrity. Hey, Elan, thank you so much. Elan, I always pronounce your name wrong. Thank you. The whole thing is so weird. We wouldn't even exist without biology. That's how we know we're humans and not dogs or plants. I know, but it's gaslighting. They want us to take biology off the table so they can do all these kinds of crazy things. In sports, medical tests should be released. I agree, especially now. I don't know why they don't release them, because they were saying something like it has to do with their personal private space. But guess what? I think now you don't get that privilege. We got to release your test results. We have to. Jana, thank you, Jana. Love you, Trampa. Please check out Herji Baka Don's story. That's the uplifting trans story, but IOC is burying it to do the political BS. It's a gaslighting operation. Oh, I will, to vilify Christians and Jews. Yeah, there's something underlying about this whole thing. I definitely agree with you, because it just seems so weird. Oh, thanks for becoming a member, Robin. I appreciate you so much. And so with that, everybody, we're going to end the stream today. And I have to get back to my office and set up for the next one. And I have some great new stuff coming out. I'm going to do a whole reaction video on this whole thing and put it up about my own thoughts about this. And we just have to keep fighting for women's space no matter what. This is not anti-trans. It's not anti-DSD. It's not anti-intersex. It's not anti-anything, okay? It's actually getting back to a sense of reality. And that's what we must understand here. If you and I don't understand how important categories are, look, the world has rules and regulations. Society has rules and regulations. Just picture if we didn't have stop signs or lights in the traffic or crosswalks or if we didn't have police officers being able to stop people from going in and looting stores. Imagine if none of that existed, okay? What would the world be like? It would be mayhem. So how come that doesn't apply to sports, or how come that doesn't apply to other particular parts of the world? We have female bathrooms and we have male bathrooms for a reason. And if you've never lived as a female, you cannot understand that, okay? Because men don't fear for things when they walk into the toilet. You don't fear for your life at some time, and you don't feel like you're going to get raped, or you don't feel like something weird is going on. You'll never, most of the time, I'm not going to say always, ever have that same feeling that a woman has, okay? And that's why these things matter. And if you are a biological male, you just won't. And if you were raised as a woman, you might have a different way of looking at it, but that does not change your biology. And so Iman might have been raised as a female, okay? But I'm telling you, in my own opinion, I believe Iman knows they are a biological male, and why Iman will not take the cheek swab. It is because I just don't know why she won't do that, or he, whatever, she. Let's call them shim. I don't know. I don't even care. All I care about is no, you're not boxing. He is going to break some woman's face. And, Martina Navratilova, who I love so much, she's amazing. And she said it. She goes, what is it going to take? A woman dying in the ring? What is it going to take? A woman getting her ass kicked by some man who says they're a woman and die? Is it really going to take a woman dying for people to just say, oh, you're right, enough is enough? And that, to me, is the epitome, the height of misogyny. If we're waiting for some woman to die before all of you can say, you're right, this is not fair and it's not okay, then you're sick and there's something wrong, and you need to sit with yourself for a minute. Because what do you lose in your life when you say, you're right, Buck, X, Y, and XX matter? What do you actually lose in your life? And what are you actually fighting for if you believe women and men are the same? Because they're not the same. And if you believe that men should be able to fight in a very, very dangerous sport as boxing, what is it that's making you believe that Iman is entitled to that space? I really, really want you to think about that, okay? And with that, I appreciate you always so much. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm having to end early today, but I'm pretty sure you all get it. And I got to head back to LA in the crazy traffic. But that being said, I appreciate you always. These really mean a lot to me. We're building such a great worldwide community here. I appreciate all of you, even not always agreeing with me, because, that's what's open here. We're allowed to have our own opinions, but we're not allowed to be rude and disrespectful to each other. And so with that, I'll see you guys all on next Wednesday. And if you become a member, we're going to start doing more member lives on Saturdays and having our little discussions. And so if you have any ideas of what you'd like for me to react to or talk about, please send them to Seth and we'll try to get on that. And so again, thanks all for the super chats. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for becoming a subscriber. Please like this, because the more you like it, YouTube likes it and it gets pushed up into the algorithms and more people see it, and the more this community grows. Okay. So with that, have the rest of your day be very beautiful, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.